Well, nearly 2 years into the pandemic, many are experiencing societal and workplace burnout. According to a recent study, get this, nearly 1/3 of Canadians reported an increase in job stress in the past year. Perhaps no surprise, but here's an interesting number. Almost 20% have resigned from their employment during the pandemic. That's why it's more important than ever to know your rights as an employee if you're feeling overwhelmed or if you're on the job hunt. For more on this, employment lawyer Lior Samfiru joins us. Lior, great to see you. That's a remarkable number, isn't it? So when you talk about pandemic burnout and in that conversation with your employer, what rights does an employee have?
So certainly it is a real issue, Anthony. People are getting burned out. There's so many new stressors that now we have to deal with that we wouldn't have had to before. So here's the thing. If you are dealing with workplace stress, probably one of the first things you want to do is talk to your employer. Let them know it. At the end of the day, it's in your interest and the employer's interest to get this right, to fix it so that you can continue working. So many employers are going to be willing to accommodate, maybe give you some time off or modified hours, work with you to deal with that stress. If that doesn't work, another good option is speak to your doctor. If your doctor feels that for medical reasons you need some sort of a change, that doctor can give you a doctor's note, and that is extremely powerful. It allows you to be off work for an indefinite period of time without losing your job. It may require your employer to modify your job, modify your hours. So those are a couple of ideas to try to help people deal with the stress so they don't get completely burnt out.
And now we're seeing so many reasons for that stress, of course. And one of the reasons, emailing and phone calls after hours, we're seeing this topic come up more and more often. In Portugal, for example, companies can be fined for contacting employees after hours. Ontario, as you know, has proposed this legislation to try to curb this. You wonder if this is even possible and what kind of effect it's going to have.
I have my doubts, Anthony, as to whether or not it's proper or it's even possible to enforce these fines or penalties against employers that are contacting employees after hours. Who's going to do that? That's very difficult to do. Employees are not going to want to complain either. They don't want to risk losing their job or angering their employer. I think the best way to deal with this disconnecting, the right to disconnect, is to give people extra vacation, to mandate that extra vacation. And instead of penalizing employers that call employees, make sure that those employers have to pay employees if they work extra. See how fast that makes changes in the workplace.
But it's interesting as well because at the end of the day, so many people, as we said off the top, are leaving their profession. And there are obviously many reasons for this, but you wonder whether this is becoming really an employee's market as a result, and the onus is on employers to take care of their employees as a result. Stress, a big issue. So many people are leaving. So when you do leave, if you do leave, for example, what rights should you be aware of?
So the first thing to understand is that if you leave voluntarily, you're not entitled to any compensation from your employer. You're not entitled to severance, for example, termination pay. Those payments are not available to you. The other thing is you're not entitled to any government benefits, EI, other benefits, because you left your job voluntarily. So you have to be prepared to deal with that. So for many employees, the better option may be to take a leave of absence, to talk to that doctor. If there's a disability plan that can pay you for a while, that may be a better job than being out of work without any benefits or compensation.
Some important issues. We always appreciate your time. That is our employment lawyer, Lior Samfiru. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.